This is a photo of my visual aid that I'll later describe throughout my speech. Alright, imagine throughout your daily routines just getting stuck on an image or thought all day long that does not escape your head. This is referred to as an illness as obsessive compulsive disorder. Today I'm going to inform you about the illness called obsessive compulsive disorder, but through the rest of our discussion I'm going to refer to this as OCD. I'm going to explain to you how this illness can arise, the signs and symptoms, and the treatment that can be used to cure this illness. Now, before I get into explaining or giving an overall gist of the symptoms and treatment, I'll start off by saying what OCD is. It's a type of anxiety where you have a recurrent obsession or compulsive that just goes on throughout your head, like through everything you do. It can be a major impact on a person's life in ways of their social life, such as making friends, in ways of their daily routines, such as work and school, and this can later affect their self-esteem. I'm going to first go on talking about the several different ways that OCD can come about. The main one would be a chemical imbalance in your brain. Now, as I already showed you, my little picture, this shows a normal brain, and this shows a brain that has OCD. And the colors show higher energy use, and that essentially is the OCD in your brain, and that's the chemical imbalance. Another reason why OCD can arise is from a traumatic incident, such as a car accident or abuse or losing a loved one. This can just cause you to repeat images in your head all day, and it can really affect your daily lives. Lastly, the third most common effect would be a head injury or an infection that damages your brain to where you essentially develop OCD. Now that you know about the OCD and how it can arise from different symptoms or trigger from different elements in life, I'll now explain common signs and symptoms. As stated already, OCD is repeated obsessions and compulsions that a person feels as impossible to control. Fear of these compulsions, or I'll start off with obsessions, can be fear of dirt or germs, fear of making a simple mistake throughout your daily life, like if you make a wrong turn while you're driving, the need for order, of symmetry and exactness, and lastly, the fear of causing harm to others, such as if I touched you, I would be scared that I gave you a disease or a germ. Now, going in the other direction are common compulsions. These may be things such as repeated bathing rituals, such as washing your hands throughout the day, 20 times a day, or constantly feeling the need to take a shower. Other compulsions can be the need to check things, such as checking that you turned off the straightener. You might need to go back and check this several times throughout the day because you can't get the thought or image outside of your head. Another compulsion would be constantly arranging things, and this can be arranging things such as arranging your food in a specific order or arranging the way you put groceries into your car. It's just the need to, have things in an exact way. Another compulsion could be the need to perform tasks, like simple tasks, a number of certain times a day. Say I'm leaving the house. I might need to turn off the lights a total of 20 times before I could walk out my door. Finally, the need to collect items with no apparent value. This is often the show on TLC. It's called Hoarding, I believe. It's the need where people will collect things, and a lot of those people collect things because they had a traumatic event in their life, as stated, a reason why OCD will arise. So that's just one example why a traumatic event will affect someone's life, and the need that they will collect everything from a piece of paper that they found on the sidewalk. You can now recognize the signs and symptoms of OCD. Now I'll inform you about how OCD is diagnosed and treated. I will first go off by saying there are very few ways to actually diagnose OCD. The most common way would be to observe someone. So this would be a means of observing their daily lives, and you would have to see what the actions or how their behavior is affected by their habits and anxiety. So this could be a process, over several weeks to observe a person on how the anxiety takes over their body to where they can't perform daily tasks. OCD can also be diagnosed by the Yale-Brown Obsessive Compulsive Scale questionnaire, and this can later also be reflected on how well treatment's working. Now, to get into treatment, there are two ways, two medicines that help this, and it's Prozac and Zoloft, and these are often referred to as the selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. And that's just what the medicine's called, and those are two ways to control your anxiety and control, your obsessions and compulsives. Another form of treatment could be seeing a therapist regularly. This therapist would pin out anxieties and just your compulsions and obsessives, and they will take those and make you feel uncomfortable. Like, a person will be sitting there, and he or she will make them feel completely uncomfortable by not letting them wash their hands or not letting them hit the light switch 20 times. But this in return helps the person get to, hopefully, a better point in their life where they won't need to do those things anymore. That actually has great results, and a lot of people with OCD do take that form of treatment. I want my audience to know that OCD has a major impact on an individual's life, as I already explained. Some causes are more severe, but OCD is overall an illness that affects everyone. Their compulsions and obsessions distract them from their living a normal lifestyle. And as I've already explained, this is a lifestyle that involves work, school, social lives, and living in the economy that we have now. That's very hard for a person with OCD because you have to go to work, you have to go to school, you have to make something of yourself to guarantee a happy life. So with the advancements of medicines and treatment, such as seeing a therapist, many people with OCD are getting help, and hopefully in the near future there will be better treatments, so this is a less common illness.